Basically, the guy behind Project 2025, which you are supposed to believe is dead now and not an important thing to talk about, has a book coming out, and it reveals a whole lot about him and about Project 2025 and about the Trump agenda, and we need to talk about it. This is Kevin Roberts, the president of the Heritage Foundation, considered the architect of Project 2025. So Media Matters got an early copy of the book. It's Dawn's Early Light, Taking Back Washington to Save America, which is, again, it's like ask ChatGPT, hey, I'm a conservative writing a politics book, what should I call it? And they'll literally give you that title. So this is the book we talked about a week or two ago with JD Vance writing the foreword and poking another hole in the idea that Project 2025 is in any way separate from the Trump agenda. So we're done with that narrative now, and we all know that they worked together on this. So let's talk about some of the stuff that Roberts focuses on in a book length sort of expounding on these ideas. So he says that having children should not be considered an optional individual choice, but quote, a social expectation or a transcendent gift. Now look, he's obviously super religious or whatever, as so many of them are. And so we're not supposed to criticize that sort of language, but I'm going to, because screw that. That is so effing weird, you creepy judgmental weirdo. Who the F do you think you are? And I really wish that I could openly swear right now. What the F are you talking about? It shouldn't be an individual choice. We shouldn't choose if we have and raise children, bring this into the world, change our life for the rest of our life, change the lives of all the people around. That shouldn't be up to us. Small government people, that's who these are. They're small government, except that they think you shouldn't get to determine what your life is. Not even just control of your own body, but control over what your life will be. It's a social expectation. Okay, so just whatever the people around you want you to do, you have to do. Or it could be a transcendent gift, which is such a sick reversal of reality to claim that that's what it is. A transcendent gift to force a person who doesn't want to have a kid to have a kid. That's not a gift, that's making them have something. You're not giving them anything, you're not offering funding or anything, you're forcing them to have and raise a kid. What the hell are you talking about?
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
Okay, so he describes, again, such old school, bizarre ways of looking at the world. He describes contraceptive technologies. You can call them condoms and birth control, you creepy religious weirdo, as quote, revolutionary inventions that shape American culture away from abundance, marriage, and family. He labeled reproductive choice methods as a quote, snake strangling the American family. So again, all the religious imagery or whatever, the metaphors and all that. You may be a Christian, you may be an atheist, you may follow some other religion, and that may inform your values. Not anymore. Because he has a religion and it's better than yours and it gets to be in control. That's the way he thinks about things. And you using condoms or birth control is killing the family. Again, you don't get to choose what happens to you. A creepy old religious guy with a misconception of what the Bible says about abortion gets to decide. We're learning a lot today. Okay, this is Project 2025. Okay, so he also blamed contraception for a rise in abortion rates, which is truly insane. He says as other kinds of contraceptive technologies spread, abortion rates went up, not down. And as we all know, if two things happen near the same time, they obviously caused each other. The hell are you talking about? You're talking about a period of like 50 years. You can't conceive of other potential explanations for why two numbers go up? Anyway, says it makes it seem like having a child isn't optional. Again, it is optional, it will be optional because they will not win on this issue, but he doesn't want it to be optional. And he goes on to say, once you understand this pattern, individual choice masking cultural upheaval, you will see it everywhere. In vitro fertilization seems to assist fertility, but has the added effect of incentivizing women to delay trying to start a family, often leading to added problems when the time comes. So again, it is not enough that they have killed Roe v. Wade. They are definitely coming for IVF. That is the Project 2025 architect saying it's a sick thing that ruins families. He also, by the way, doesn't appear to understand or care to understand anything about the struggles of people who have used IVF, who have children from IVF, or have tried and failed with IVF or other technologies. He doesn't care. He's got a snake metaphor that he finds more persuasive. And he goes on to say, this is sort of taking the contraception stuff and the kid stuff and broadening it. That's a problem because a childless society becomes decadent and nostalgic. I just want to remind everyone that he is worshiping in the altar of a guy who craps on a golden toilet, but you're decadent because you can't afford to have kids. Just to be clear. Aging, barren societies literally become consumptive, taking on higher levels of debt and depleting savings as they pay foreign workers to keep things going. They become less and less capable of innovation, a young person's game, and more stuck and decrepit every year. Their traditions, culture, and way of life die out with nothing to hand on and no one to hand it on. A culture of childlessness is, in the final analysis, a culture of despair. I think a lot of people do feel despair. But the solution to their despair is not to tell them that they are required by the power of the government to have kids, but to make it like financially possible or preferable to have kids. The government could actually do something other than just literally requiring that they procreate. That would be nice. Also, by the way, he's talking about how we need innovation. We need to keep up with things. And he is advancing an ideology that didn't even really exist even in the 1950s, but he wants you to believe that it does. No innovation. We're gonna go back to the time before Roe v. Wade, before you were constitutionally allowed to use contraception. It's such an amazing bait and switch. You're not supposed to evolve on anything. You're not supposed to develop or improve. Nothing is supposed to change. We're supposed to be the same as we always were, but that sounds bad. So let's pretend that we care about the kids or something. And so look, there's a whole book here. We could go more in depth into it. This is who Kevin Roberts is. This is what the Heritage Foundation is, by the way. And just briefly, they want you to believe that that's like a think tank. That's like a serious place where they have scholars and philosophers and they do studies and then they come up with proposals for policies. This sounds like any freakish online pastor telling you that your vagina's up to him to control and he gets to choose when you get knocked up. But again, super reputable because it's been around for a while and they have a lot of money. But he's got a snake metaphor for you that he finds very compelling. Anyway, don't let them try to move on from the Project 2025 stuff. They are trying to take the focus off of it, which they were too stupid to do from the very beginning, but it is still very much the roadmap for what a second Trump term would be like. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?